This is TCU T87A. In my previous videos, I have shown how to use the JTAG to program this device, but people would prefer to use the CANBUS to program it. However, these ECUs or TCUs have a special code that previous method does not work. However, we have found the factory mode, which you can still use the CANBUS to program it. I call factory mode is you have to have a special setup, not like the previous. Like we just use a power ground and then the CANBUS, we can talk to it and inject our code. This method you have to have a special setup, and it will enter the factory manufacturing mode. And once in manufacturing mode, you can read and write this TCU. And I believe all the new ECUs also use this method. We will try to figure this out in the future. This is the pins here. Now, in order to have this set up, the regular 12-volt power supply will not work. I am using a PC power supply, which needs both 12-volt and 5-volt. And I'm using this board connect to the PC power supply output, so I can have the 12-volt here, ground here, and 5-volt. In the normal setup, we connect this pin to be 12-volt, as well as the pin 35 to be 12-volt. But in this manufacturing mode, the pin 35 ignition pin needs to connect to 5-volt. Okay, so let's first connect the ground. Oh, there's 2 additional pins need to be connected in order to enter this mode. So the first pin is the ground pin. We need to connect the second pin on the side to go to the ground, and I found the ground pin on the 5th here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this pin is connected to this pin, and this is the ground pin. So we connect ground pin, and also we need to short wire one of the pins here, which is the 7th pin on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the other side is to the ground, adjacent to the ground pin. So this is the short pin of the ground and short pin for these 2 pins. And then we hook up the regular CANBUS pin, which is, you can find on some website here. This is CAN high and CAN low, goes to here. And then we need to connect the ground pin. Ground pin goes to here, and 12 pin goes here. And then I need the 5 pin. 5 pin goes from here. I have this brown pin to be 5-volt, goes to the ignition pin here. And this is the setup. The CANBUS pin, the MCP 2550 module, connect to the UD and NT with the 5 volts modification, and also the jumper termination here was 120 ohm. Because TCU normally does not have internal 120 ohm resistor termination, either you connect the 120 ohm here as well, or as I did is I connect to another MCP module with the jumper here. So the proper resistance from the CAN high and CAN low will be 60 ohm. This is the same setup as the T42. So now the software. In the software, we need 1.60, and the configuration goes here. We have the TCU called GM boot, or whatever name we gave it. It could be the manufacturer mode, but I call this GM boot. And if you look at the configuration, it has the new sub-protocol, CANBUS protocol, MCP 5-axis boot. And the algorithm, this does not really matter, and the kernel does not matter much. But because of the limitation of the peak command, the CPU parameters cannot be peaked easily, so we initialize putting here. So now let's power on the the USB. Now the power is turned off at this moment, and the order of power on is very important. So this here is how it works. We need to first hit detect, and within like 1 or 2 seconds need to power on the power supply. So let me try this. Okay, so click detect, power on, and you see we can enter the debugger on. Once we end in this mode, then we can access the internal flash. So since this is very slow, the protocol employed in this manufacturing mode is very slow. So let's first do the read first, and then we can talk. So the speed is about 8 to 9 kilobyte per second, and this is 4 megabyte. So it will take quite a big time of time to read. Okay, it's finished. It takes under 8 minutes. Let's save it. And here is the saving. Normally you would do this one more verification by read twice to verify it, but since it's too slow, I'm not going to do it in the video, but you can do this offline. Just make sure that you have a good backup. In here, I'm going to make a programming which is somewhat they call unlocked version. So I'm going to load the unlocked version, and we can program the entire flash. However, actually, if you want to unlock it, you just need to program this part of it to make the TCU unlock, so it can be used by other tuning files. I'm going to double click here, and you will see slightly different. So let me check. So you can see this erase takes really fast, and then actually the erase does nothing here, because I'm not going to erase the entire flash to reprogram. The engineering mode has a special programming mode. What it does is it will have a checksum version. So if I want to program a sector, very first thing to do is make sure if the checksum changes. If they do not change, then you can ignore the flash. You can ignore the sector and go to the next one. By doing so, you can save a lot of time. You see, when we read, it takes about 8 minutes, but when we write in this flash, it may take maybe 2 or 3 minutes, because it's a smart. It will skip the sector that is already being programmed, and the data is the same. So you see now we are going about 14 kilobyte per second versus a read we get like 8 kilobyte per second. But at the end of the flash is majority empty, so it will be really fast at the end. Okay, the entire program has finished. You see at the end it skips really fast. The total programming this time was 5 minutes. But if you were just to do the unlock, unlike what I'm doing is copy another entire new flash, you just want to do unlock method, it will only take maybe less than 2 minutes. Okay, this is the entire program passed. We did the erase is a fake erase, and program, and then do verification. I found that its verification is almost passed. If you want to save time, you can skip this step. If you just want to unlock the TCU for the tuner program to work, it probably won't take that long at all. So let's summary here is Unink NT MCP2515 with the proper termination, 2 jumper wires here with an PC power supply that support both 12 volt and 5 volt, and proper timing, we can enter this manufacturing mode to access this TCU without open the case. And I believe the other new generation of ECU has this method as well. We are going to expose those in the future.